So today we're going to be talking about, I don't know if it's y'all, but I've been seeing this video of Keys. I guess it's one of his most recent videos where he's talking about falling out with some friends. Welcome back to Vlogs by Name. My name is Nay, and today this is probably going to be a quick video because I don't know too much about the situation, but I feel like I want to speak on it. Like, I just want to say my piece and be gone. So today we're going to be talking about, I don't know if it's y'all, but I've been seeing this video of Keys. I guess it's one of his most recent videos where he's talking about falling out with some friends.
Wait a minute. Who?
And everybody is assuming that it is, I say assuming because I don't know the situation, but everybody's saying that it's Rkky and some other girl that he fell out with.
And this room is hot, and it's not these hot tamales.
Now, I've been following Rkky and Kees for a long ass time. I was following Kees when he was like back at his parents' house. And I've been following Rkky for as long as whatever first video she posted that went viral. Their content is relatable. So when I see that two of my most favorite creators are now on odds ends, I'm like, you know, what's going on? Given that something had went on with Keys and his little group of friends, and he didn't like what they were saying. Some people were saying that they had called him slurs, and I'm like, I don't think they would do something like that, because had that been the issue, they would have stopped being friends a long time ago, because you just don't slip up and say a slur. You never slip up and just say one. You say something you've always been wanting to say. So that accusation might be a little false, because I feel like you wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, like hanging around somebody that would call you something like that, there would be early on signs that they don't, you know, they don't fuck with people who are like in the LGBTQ community. So I was like, that one's a little far-fetched. And then somebody else was saying, well, we're not saying that he's wrong, like his feelings are very much so valid, but he came to the internet and talked about it. I don't know, I'm speaking for me personally. I realized maybe a couple days ago that I am now an internet person. My business is always out there. I'm willingly talk about it. So when it comes to a situation that I'm going through, anytime I hop on the net and talk about it, I'm talking about my own personal experience. Never will I get on here bashing someone or, you know, talking shit about somebody. I'm just talking from my experience of that with that person. So I feel like that's what Keys was doing. He was just talking about his experience and what he's going through, and everybody's saying like, oh, like he shouldn't have brought it to the net, da da da. Now, they did say a conversation was had. It would have been different if a conversation hadn't been had. So you came to the net to try to get attention for it, so that then maybe then your friends will realize, okay, like this is dumb, let's talk it out. But that somebody has said that he had already had a conversation with them off camera, so it's like, why would you bring it on camera? But everybody, at the end of the day, everybody's grown, everybody's gonna do what they want to do, and you can either be there for it or not. And I feel like a lot of people are saying he's weird. He's not weird. This is just something he does. And people are saying this is not his first time. He's done this 3 times before. So does that make him fake? Does that make him the common denominator when it comes to falling out with people? No, I think he's been real. He's been doing exactly what he's been doing, which is coming to the net, getting his check, and then going about his day. He wouldn't have brought it to the internet if he felt like the relationship could have been savaged, like he could have repaired it. I would never bring something to the internet thinking that it's gonna, if I bring it to the internet, it's gonna get repaired. No, if I'm talking about anything on my channel, done deal, never going back. Not going back. I'm not gonna say never, but not going back on my own will. I'm not going back. That's why I brought it to the net. And so I feel like that's why he did it. Mind you, that's why I personally feel my opinion. So everything I'm saying is definitely not facts. This is just how I feel about the whole situation. Like, I just feel like everybody's quick to jump down Keys' throat, but it's like, you weren't there when it happened. You're only grabbing bits and pieces from him, bits and pieces from her, and bits and pieces from the other girl. Like, nobody sitting in a room and talking about what the fuck happened. It's just bits and pieces from everybody. So no one knows what's going on. That's why it's best to just stay out of internet drama. Enjoy it, but don't try to dig deep into it and figure out what you know, because you don't know shit. And trust me, from my own personal experience, I have people out here telling me what I did wrong with the gym crush situation, or telling me what I need to do to get over it. Like, I don't need to do shit you niggas is asking me or telling me to do. Because I'm living perfectly fine now. I do not care about that boy. I haven't touched that boy in months. Sometimes you just gotta let people crash out. I'm not saying he's crashing out, but you gotta let people get that shit off their chest. And then y'all gonna be like, oh, that's why we got therapists. Some people can't afford it. So, yeah, the internet's gonna be my personal therapist until I get paid enough to be able to afford one. So I just found out my job don't even got no 401k. What? We don't got a 401k. My last job had a 401k. So I'm like, can we get one now? Do you know how handy 401ks come into? I didn't even realize the money was coming out of my check for the 401k. All I knew was when I had lost my job at the beginning and I had that money sitting there, I said, God is good all the time. That helped me pay my rent for maybe 2 months. And then after that, I was on my own. I was shit out of luck. So, yeah. But having a 401k is really good. So I'm very upset that my job don't got one. And now I'm just rambling off the original topic. The original topic was like my take on the Kees and Rkky drama. And all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna keep watching them because they're both my favorite content creators. And hopefully, like, obviously they are two very internet-y people. I mean, Ricky's whole little ex business was on the internet as well. Like her ex, her man, all of that was on the internet. And Kees has had his fair share of business being on the internet too. These are internet personalities. Like, they're here. So eventually a rekindling is going to happen because they already probably knew that this was going to get brought to the internet. Being in the public eye, your business is going to be brought there, whether you bring it there or somebody goes and does some digging and figures out what is going on with you and your personal life. And if people care that much, then you really got something going. So I would run with that shit. So that's probably what they're going to do. Make a bag off of this, apologize, and then get back to being friends, because I feel like they've been friends for a while. Dropping something just because of some disagreement or whatever happened, I don't know what happened, whatever happened, it's crazy. So, or, and somebody else was saying, like, sometimes it gets to a point where you just watch stuff happen and you let it build up, and then you take that time to realize, like, the last thing that they do is the last thing that sets you off, and you just silently remove yourself. So you should start distancing. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes voicing how you feel every single time and the person just keep doing it and doing it and doing it is like too much. So you have to, like, just take a step back and remove yourself from the situation. And sometimes people don't like that, but it's like, if that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I have no shame in doing it. Or let me not say I do it all the time. I've recently just started doing it because it's like too much. So I don't know. I just wish them the best, and this was just my take on it. Probably nobody even asked for this tape, but I'm like, I keep seeing a video on my For You page. It must be a sign to make a video about it, because these are two very influential people in my influencer and creator era, and I just feel like I look up to them both, and that's probably why I am the way I am, because Rkky business be on the internet, Kees business be on the internet, and I'm like, people love hearing about their life, so let me talk about my life, and I got slander. I said, what the fuck? Like, man, I'm just doing what everybody else doing. Everybody else be crying. Everybody else be talking about their boy problems. Everybody else be, going through it. But the 1 minute I hop on the line, everybody like, hell no. Kick her out now. Kick me out? Kick me out the club because I'm doing what everybody else is doing? That makes no sense. You're saying I don't got the right dress code, so you gotta get me out. So yeah, so that's my take on it.